Why do some men seem to effortlessly attract women, while others struggle no matter what they do? What if I told you the secret isn't about money, looks, or even charm? It's about something much deeper. Something the ancient Stoics knew over 2,000 years ago. Today, we're diving into the secret psychology of women, love, and how Stoicism can completely change the way you approach relationships. But fair warning, this isn't your typical dating advice. By the end of this, you might see love and yourself in a whole new light. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. Stoicism isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. And when it comes to love, that's where everything begins. Think about it. How many times have you felt frustrated, confused, or even hurt in relationships? Maybe you've tried everything: grand gestures, endless compliments, always being available, but nothing seems to work. What if the problem isn't what you're doing, but how you're thinking? That's where Stoicism comes in. Today, we're going to explore how this ancient philosophy can help you understand the psychology of women, build deeper connections, and most importantly, become the kind of person who doesn't just attract love, but sustains it. Ready? Let's go. Here's the hard truth. Most men approach relationships from a place of lack. They think, if I can just get her to like me, then I'll be happy. But here's the thing. That mindset is already setting you up for failure. Why? Because it puts all the power outside of yourself. You're relying on someone else to fill a void, to make you feel worthy, to give you validation. And when you do that, you're not coming from a place of strength. You're coming from a place of neediness. And women can sense that. It's not about being alpha or beta or any of those labels. It's about being grounded, confident, and emotionally independent. That's what's truly attractive. But how do you get there? That's the challenge we're tackling today. 1. The dichotomy of control. Let's start with one of the core principles of Stoicism: the dichotomy of control. This is the idea that some things are within your control and some things aren't. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, those are within your control. Other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions, not so much. When it comes to relationships, this is huge. You can't control whether someone likes you or not. You can't control how they feel or what they do, but you can control how you show up. Are you kind, confident, and authentic? Or are you trying to be someone you're not just to impress them? Let me tell you a story about Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor. Despite his power, Marcus Aurelius faced constant challenges in his personal life, including betrayal and loss. But instead of trying to control others, he focused on controlling himself. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Now let's apply this to modern relationships. Imagine you're on a date. You're nervous and you're worried about saying the wrong thing. Instead of focusing on what she thinks of you, focus on being present. Be genuinely curious about her. Listen more than you speak. If she doesn't respond the way you hope, that's okay. You can't control her reaction, but you can control how you handle it. This mindset shift is powerful because it takes the pressure off you and allows you to be your authentic self. And guess what? Authenticity is incredibly attractive. 2. Amor fati, loving what happens. Next up, amor fati. This is the Stoic concept of loving whatever happens, good or bad. In relationships, this means embracing rejection, heartbreak, and even the awkward moments. Why? Because they're all opportunities to learn and grow. Think about it. Every no you get is steering you closer to the right yes. But most men don't see it that way. They take rejection personally, and it destroys their confidence. Let me share a story about Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born a slave. Despite his circumstances, Epictetus taught that we should embrace everything life throws at us, even the hardships. He said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy." Now, let's apply this to dating. Imagine you ask someone out and they say no. Instead of seeing it as a failure, see it as a redirection. Maybe they weren't the right person for you. Maybe they're dealing with their own issues. Either way, their no isn't a reflection of your worth. It's just information. When you start to see rejection this way, it loses its power over you. You stop fearing it, and that confidence is magnetic.
Third, virtue as the highest good. Now let's talk about virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is the highest good. It's about living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. When it comes to love, this means being the best version of yourself, not for someone else, but for you. Because here's the thing, women aren't looking for a perfect man. They're looking for a man who's striving to be better, someone who's grounded, principled, and has a strong sense of purpose. Take the example of Cato the Younger, a Stoic who was known for his unwavering integrity. Even when faced with immense pressure to compromise his values, Cato stood firm. He didn't do it for fame or recognition. He did it because it was the right thing to do. In relationships, this translates to being a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you make a mistake, own up to it. Women notice these things. They notice when you're consistent, when you treat others with respect, and when you stand by your principles. These qualities are far more attractive than any material possession or superficial trait. Fourth, understanding female psychology. Finally, let's talk about the psychology of women. This isn't about stereotypes or generalizations. It's about understanding human nature. Women, like men, are drawn to certain qualities: confidence, emotional stability, and a sense of purpose. But here's where Stoicism comes in. It teaches you how to cultivate these qualities from within. Let's break it down. Confidence isn't about being loud or arrogant. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. Emotional stability isn't about never feeling emotions. It's about managing them in a healthy way. And a sense of purpose isn't about having all the answers. It's about striving towards something meaningful. Think about Seneca, another Stoic philosopher. He wrote extensively about the importance of self-awareness and emotional mastery. He believed that true strength comes from understanding yourself and aligning your actions with your values. In relationships, this means being clear about what you want and what you stand for. It means being honest about your intentions and treating the other person with respect. When you approach relationships from this place of inner strength, you become someone worth investing in. The power of emotional resilience. Let's talk about emotional resilience, something the Stoics were masters of. In relationships, emotions can run high. Jealousy, insecurity, fear of rejection. These are all natural, but they can also sabotage your connections if you don't know how to handle them. Stoicism teaches us to observe our emotions without being controlled by them. Think of it like this. Emotions are like waves in the ocean. You can't stop them from coming, but you can learn to surf. Let me share a story about Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Zeno lost everything in a shipwreck, but used that experience as a turning point in his life. Instead of letting despair consume him, he channeled his energy into studying philosophy and building a new life. In relationships, this means not letting your emotions dictate your actions. If you feel jealous, acknowledge it, but don't act on it. If you feel insecure, remind yourself of your worth. When you master your emotions, you become a rock in the storm, someone others can rely on.
6. The art of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means not letting your happiness depend on something outside your control. In relationships, this is crucial. Too many men make the mistake of tying their self-worth to whether someone likes them or not. But Stoicism teaches us to find our worth within ourselves. Take the example of Musonius Rufus, a Stoic teacher who emphasized the importance of inner freedom. He believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation. In relationships, this means being okay with whatever happens. If someone likes you, great. If they don't, that's okay too. Your worth doesn't change either way. When you approach relationships from this place of detachment, you become more confident, more present, and more authentic. 7. The role of communication. Communication is the bridge between two people, and Stoicism has a lot to say about how we use our words. The Stoics believed in speaking with intention, clarity, and honesty. They also believed in listening, truly listening, without letting your ego get in the way. Think about Marcus Aurelius again. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." In relationships, this means approaching conversations with empathy and understanding. It means being honest but kind, and listening without judgment. When you communicate this way, you build trust and deepen your connection.
8. The importance of shared values. Finally, let's talk about shared values. The Stoics believe that the foundation of any meaningful relationship is alignment in what you value most. This isn't about having the same hobbies or interests. It's about sharing core principles like honesty, respect, and growth. Take the example of Cleanthes, a Stoic philosopher who lived a simple life but was deeply committed to his values. He believed that true happiness comes from living in harmony with nature and with others. In relationships, this means being clear about your values and seeking someone who shares them. It's not about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who's aligned with what matters most to you. When you build a relationship on this foundation, it becomes unshakable. Here's the truth. Love isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and finding someone who aligns with your values, your growth, and your purpose. When you approach relationships from this perspective, everything changes. You stop settling for less than you deserve, and you start building connections that are deep, meaningful, and lasting. So to sum it all up, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, to embrace challenges, to live with virtue, and to understand the deeper psychology of love. It's about emotional resilience, detachment, clear communication, and shared values. When you apply these principles, you don't just attract love, you create it. And that's the most powerful thing of all. If this video helped you see love in a new way, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep growing together.